I live every day just like a champion, so it's going to be another day in the park.
Lewis's opportunity! Lewis has dropped in! Goes down the pig! Freaking above! Can you believe it? Derrick Lewis did it!
I'm going to prove and get my respect that I deserve from everybody in Houston and everybody watching.
When I won the title, it felt like really great. It's going to feel just like I just won it again because I'm still the underdog once again, and I'm still have that same feeling after I leave the cage.
Moreno with the right hand of his own. Oh! The big kibosh! Patino's done it again! Who can stop Jorge Patino?
Saturday, one day after, I'm not more champion. I have to train again, focus again, to win again, then I will be champion. I've been training 2 months for this. Got a lot of work and a lot of dedication. I'm ready to prove myself.
They say everything's bigger in Texas, and tonight is no exception, as Legacy Fighting Championship presents its biggest fight card to date with 2 championship matches. From inside the Houston Arena Theater, where we will have a sellout crowd for the first time ever in Legacy history, there is not even any standing room here tonight. Hello everybody, I'm Michael Chavello. Fantastic to be back here in Houston, as always, joined by my verbal sparring partner, former UFC champion and super coach, Pat Miletich. Pat, we turn our attention to the main event. The heavyweight championship on the line. The defending champion, Derrick Lewis, a Cinderella story of 2012. A man who once beat the living daylights out of a Ku Klux Klan member who was hunting him down in his neighborhood. Tonight, he wants to beat the daylights out of big Ricky Shivers.
Yes, he does. And Derrick Lewis is really not the guy I'd go hunting for, to be honest.
Derrick Lewis has those massive meat hooks. The question mark over Shivers is, how can he handle the big right hand of Derrick Lewis?
Well, he needs to move his head, certainly, because I don't think there's a lot of people out there that can handle the hand of Derrick Lewis. Huge hands he has, and he's got a lot of heart and a lot of endurance. He survived the fight with Rushholt. Rushholt put him on his back a lot during that fight, showed the heart, battled through it, got back to his feet, and put Rushholt away and knocked him out.
Pat, Derrick Lewis, usually a very quiet guy, doesn't say too much, but yesterday an interesting status popped up on Derrick Lewis's Facebook at around 8:30 p.m. He said, "I don't usually dislike my opponents, but I can't wait to beat the hell out of this cocky SOB."
I don't think I'd want Derrick Lewis saying that about me, I know that.
We know the game plan that Shivers has told us is he wants to go hard and fast, look to try and gas out Lewis early and then put him on his back. Is that the big black cloud hanging over Derrick Lewis here tonight? How he can get off the ground if big Shivers puts him on his back?
Right, and I think Shivers obviously has the reach. He is taller. So in the stand-up department, if he keeps his distance, he should be okay and gets out of the way of that right hand of Lewis. But he's probably going to look for the takedown. Shivers is, put Lewis on the ground. If Lewis can survive that and get back up, I'm hoping that Lewis can make him carry his weight a little bit also while they're on their feet, and then we'll see a little bit of a stand-up war also.
Ooh, either way, it is going to be epic for the main event. In our co-main event, another one that should be an absolute ripper. Defending champion at 155, the always hyper Jorge Patino takes on Derrick Krantz. Krantz gives away a lot of experience, 14-6 versus 28-13, 1-1 of Patino. Pat, if you're playing Supercoach, first of all, you're in the corner of Derrick Krantz. How do you tell him to beat Patino here?
Well, I think he's got the quickness, he's got the youth. At 20 fights experience, he has enough experience to deal with a guy with 40-some fights in Patino. But use his speed, land some heavy shots, feints and fakes, get Patino off balance, get a takedown, and if he can end up on top, he'll be all right with his ground and pound.
Patino has told us he's going to show us some tricks that nobody has ever seen before here tonight. Once again, Pat, you're playing Supercoach in the corner of Patino. How does he defeat Krantz?
Patino's got to push the pace. We know he's in shape. Maybe it's half crazy and half lungs, but he always comes in shape. He always pushes the pace, and I think also for him, he needs to end up on top because Jorge Patino on top can cause people problems.
Okay, folks, let's take you through the rest of this stacked and historic fight card here at Legacy Fighting Championships. We kick it off in the welterweight division. Alex Morono takes on Brandon Farran. Then the first ever women's bout in Legacy history. Undefeated Lauren Taylor takes on former boxer Jennifer Scott. In the welterweights, Todd goes to war against undefeated Charlie Ontiveros. And then the flyweights, undefeated Rafael Freitas takes on the veteran Antonio Banuelos. Pat, the official rules for Legacy 18.
Yes, sir, Mr. Shivers. The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation will be overseeing tonight's Legacy MMA event. Unified rules are in place, so elbows to a downed opponent are legal. Non-title fights are 3 5-minute rounds. The final 2 title championships are 5 5-minute rounds.
All is in readiness here in Houston, Texas. A fantastic crowd. We will have a sellout here tonight. It is official. And folks, don't forget, if you have your iPad, your iPhone, your anything, while you're watching at home, download our Access TV Fight Companion app right now. You can go online, you can vote for who you think will win tonight's contest, and in the running for some fantastic prizes for the iPad and the iPhone. Once again, go to the iTunes store and download our Fight Companion app. Let's go to Colin Cantrell to get our night underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the cage representing Gracie, Baja North, Houston, Alex Morono. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the cage his opponent representing Future Fitness, Brandon Farran.
A lot more. Let's go up to Colin Cantrell.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in attendance and those of you watching live on Access TV around the world, welcome to the Arena Theater. Legacy Promotions, along with Access TV Fights, presents the Legacy Fighting Championship 18. All fights tonight are sanctioned by the Texas Department of License and Regulation. Dick Cole, Program Administrator. Tonight's Inspector Hector Bajaran. Our judges tonight scoring the fights on a 10-point must system. Chance Williams, Joshua Ferrero, and Robert Alexander. And when the action begins, your referees in charge, Jacob Montalvo and Joe Solis. Our first fight of the evening is being brought to us by Classic Chevrolet and is scheduled for 3 rounds of 5 minutes each in the Legacy Welterweight division. Introducing first, on my right, fighting out of the Star Motorcycles blue corner. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, his official weight 170 pounds. This well-rounded mixed martial artist holds a record of 4 wins and only 1 loss. Fighting out of the Woodland, Texas, Alex Morono. And across the cage on my left, fighting out of the ammo2go.com red corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, his official weight 170 pounds. This striker by trade holds a record of 7 victories and 6 defeats. Fighting out of Abilene, Texas, Brandon.
Record to 5-1. What a way to start Legacy number 18.
Farran's mistake, going to the ground with that guy.
He looks slick. In the stand-up for the opening 15 seconds, did Farran. He came out jabbing, looked confident.
Good job.
But as Pat said, when it went to ground, it favored Alex Morono.
Here he is straightening Farran's arm for him. He had to verbally tap. He couldn't. He was trying to save his arm with his other hand, so he couldn't tap here, the screamer.
Some massive support in the crowd here for Alex Morono. 5-1 now, his record, only 22 years old, Morono. And certainly big things being mooted for him. A man from the Woodlands in Texas, out of the Gracie Barra gym. A jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai stylist. And he used the jits game here tonight to prove triumphant over Brandon Farran. Let's go to Colin Cantrell now to enter this one into the history books.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 1 minute 16 seconds into round number 1, your winner by armbar, Alex Morono.
There it is. Alex Morono is now 5-1.
Still ahead.
Oh, meet me somewhere!
Our title fight extravaganza here in the Space City Blast Off. Legacy Fighting Championship 18 on Access TV. We'll be right back.
What an incredible fight, what a great comeback. We know you had a lot of motion coming into this. You've had a great success story, and you dedicated this fight to your grandfather. Is there anything you'd like to say to him right now?
You raised me well, baby. You raised me well. My grandfather passed away a week right after my last fight, and he heard the news that I had won a title and this and that, and his eyes was closed. My mom had told him that DJ, they call me DJ, had won a title, and his eyes got real buck wild and stared at the TV like he wanted to watch it. Like he was telling my mom to put it on the TV basically with his eyes. And I still have him, moving through my body and in my head all the time, and he's gonna help me through this fight right here.
A lot of emotion, as always, surrounding Derrick Lewis, who defends his championship title here tonight against Ricky Shivers in our main event. Once again, let's go up to Colin Cantrell to introduce a piece of history now, the first ever women's fight in Legacy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the cage representing Gracie Barra, Lauren Taylor.
All-in Lauren Taylor will be the first woman to ever set foot inside of a Legacy cage.
Glad to be here.
A 3-week camp was intense. She's an intense woman. Spends 6 to 8 hours in a typical day at the gym. Undefeated. The TKOs, 4 of them on the trot. Julia Griffin, Willow Bailey, Leslie Wright, and Clara Wayland. She says that Jennifer Scott doesn't know what she's getting herself into taking this fight. She says Jennifer Scott doesn't know how hard she works and that she refuses to take it easy from the very get-go. How will the fight finish? Well, according to Lauren Taylor, it'll be a TKO again, the 5th in a row. It'll come on the ground as the last 4 on her record have.
I'm interested to see how Lauren Taylor deals with Jennifer Scott striking, whether she decides to stay up with her for a while and shut her down, or whether she looks for the takedown right away to employ her jiu-jitsu skills. We'll see.
Lauren Taylor, who made her pro debut back in 2010, it took her only 17 seconds of the very first round to win by a TKO with punches on the ground. She says everyone likes a scrappy, intense, beat the living shit out of each other kind of fight. That's what you're in for every time this lady steps into the cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the cage her opponent representing the 4-ounce Fight Club, Jennifer Scott.
All right, we've been over all the rules. Do you have any questions for me before we get started?
Jennifer Scott, the
Push
former
stops illegal
Hawaiian
against the cage,
Tropics
not on a
bikini
grounded
model.
opponent. If you have her
In
against the cage, you can push
2006.
stop. Protect yourself at all times and follow my commands at all
A
times.
member
Just like
of
when
the
you last started.
Lingerie Football League. Very rare you find a professional athlete in 3 different sports. Here's one, mixed martial arts, boxing and football. And here's some photos. She plays for the Houston Oilers in the Lingerie Football League. Jennifer Scott. Scott, a 7-4 amateur boxing record, 2-4 with 2 knockout wins as a pro in boxing. 2008 Gulf Coast Regional Golden Gloves champion. She says, Pat, that her hands will be the difference tonight.
Got to be able to stop a takedown to use your hands. We'll see if she can do that tonight.
Scott says she knows that Taylor will look to go to the ground straight away. The game plan is a no-brainer. It's to keep the fight standing. Let's look at the tail of the tape. Undefeated Lauren Taylor is also 3 years the younger, 2 inches the shorter. Weight goes the way of Jennifer Scott. Reach in the arms goes the way of Scott by 3 inches, in the legs by only a ½ inch. We are set for our bantamweight contest.
All right, we've been over the rules.
Once again, up to Colin Cantrell.
Protect yourself at all times and follow my commands at all times.
Ladies and gentlemen, our second fight of the evening is being brought to us by Blue Label Vodka and scheduled for 3 rounds of 5 minutes each in the Legacy Bantamweight division. Introducing first on my right, fighting out of the Star Motorcycles blue corner. She stands 5 feet 5 inches tall. Her official weight 133 3/4 pounds. This fighter has finished every opponent that has entered the cage with her. Fighting out of Anchorage, Alaska, Lauren Taylor. And across the cage on my left, fighting out of the ammo2go.com red corner. She stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. Her official weight 135 pounds. This aggressive striker holds a record of 2 wins and 2 defeats with 1 no contest. Representing Houston, Texas, Jennifer Scott. Referee in charge of the action, Jacob Montalvo.
Ladies, to the center. Ladies, to the center.
All right, we've been over the rules. I expect a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times and follow my commands at all times. Let's touch it up. Good luck, ladies.
You talk about ferocity and intensity, and just watching Lauren Taylor in her corner prowling back and forth like a lioness, just ready to sink her teeth into Jennifer Scott here.
Okay,
she comes in as the favorite as Lauren Taylor, minus 185. The comeback on Scott at plus 145. Look for the handiwork here of Jennifer Scott. Look for Taylor to put her on her back and try and pound away. Not only the boxing, but if she clinches up, look for the right elbow of Jennifer Scott. She has a biohazard tattoo on that right elbow.
She landed a nice right hand a couple times so far already, and Taylor's not liking it.
The old jab to kangaroo to open up proceedings here for Jennifer Scott. The basic combination in boxing, working a treat so far. Keeping Lauren Taylor at the end of her jab. Glancing right hand there from Jennifer Scott. Controlling center cage is Scott. Looking to change levels is Taylor. Wants to find a way inside to put hands on Scott, get her to the ground. Lean kick from Scott.
Scott doing a good job with lateral motion. She doesn't move straight back. She scoots off to the side. That's nice.
Right hand lead on that occasion from Scott. Finishes with a jab. Using that lead hand well here. Lots of motion. Lots of lateral footwork. Always keeping Lauren Taylor guessing. Taylor just can't figure out those hands at the moment. There's a stinging right hand from Lauren Taylor. Scott looks to go to the body. Front kick from Taylor. Good right hand between the eyes there from Jennifer Scott. Wild overhand right, went for the cranium cracker.
You can see a lot of Scott's punches are coming up short. She's not bringing her feet with her. It's something that you yell at people a lot about, to get them to bring their feet forward when they're punching so that they get deeper and deeper and finally land.
Eats a right hand of Taylor's and backs her up. Now drifts back to center cage as Jennifer Scott eats another jab from Lauren Taylor. Taylor starting to find her range now with the hands.
Yeah, and Taylor's moving her head when she's punching. She's getting out of the way of that jab a lot more now.
Right hand lead from Jennifer Scott. There's a lot of her Lingerie Football League teammates in the audience here tonight. Body shot. Lauren Taylor smiling at her.
Oh, another shot right there.
It's got to be disheartening when you hit an opponent with all your might and they smile right back at you. 2 minutes 20 remaining in a very active, entertaining first round. Counter right hand off the leg kick there from Lauren Taylor. Right hand lead again from Scott. And another right hand lead. Jab 2, chance for a takedown, first chance, and she executes it well. Lauren Taylor now has Jennifer Scott on her back, goes inside of half guard, perfect ground and pound position. This is where Taylor wants to be, Pat.
Already moving into the arm triangle possibly, or getting that arm blocked out at least to punish the ribs, but she did a great job changing levels on that. Got Scott convinced that she was going to stand up with her the whole time, changed levels, got the takedown, and it was an easy takedown.
4 TKOs in 4 fights. They've come from ground and pound. There's the hammer fist strikes to the ear. Looks like she's about to fully mount Jennifer Scott here.
Look how Jennifer Scott's not moving her hips, not using her legs, not aware of what's really happening down below, which is not a good thing.
Thumping away to the side of the head. This one could be over soon. There's the full mount for Lauren Taylor. Boom with the elbows, hacking away at a helpless Jennifer Scott. Scott's got to pull her down, got to control the posture. Look at Lauren Taylor just hacking away at Jennifer Scott.
She's cut up, I think, Michael.
Blood everywhere, flattens her out. Surely this one's over now. Referee moves in. Good night, Irene. Lauren Taylor's done it again. She is 5-0 and truly an unstoppable force.
Nice job. She stood up with her long enough, like I said, get her convinced, hey, it's going to be a boxing match, and got the takedown easy and went to work right away. Scott was just not able to deal with the positions on the ground. That was apparent that she's not as well versed as Lauren Taylor is down there on the ground.
1 minute, 10 seconds.
Here she is, changing levels nicely, getting the takedown and driving through. It's really important to finish her takedown. She did a good job of that. Got into half guard eventually here.
And just as we're looking at these replays, I want to say that Jennifer Scott is still laid out here on the canvas as the doctors look over her.
Yeah, I think she's okay. They're just checking out the cuts. She's probably got some pretty good lacerations on her face.
Stall.
That was brutal, nasty ground and pound from Lauren Taylor. We told you it was always going to be her biggest strength. It's how she'd won 4 fights on the trot. It's how she's won 5 in a row now. She says nobody works harder than me. She only had a 3-week training camp in preparation for this one, but my word, what a powerful lady. They are tending to the cut here on Jennifer Scott. Try and stem some of the bleeding courtesy of those razor-sharp elbows. And look at Jennifer Scott. She looks like a horror film.
It's a bad cut.
Well, Scott was the one that said she was going to drop the elbows, and as you pointed out, has the tattoo on her elbow to deliver them. She was the one that chewed on the elbow tonight.
Well, there wasn't a chainsaw involved, but it was a Texas elbow massacre here in the cage, courtesy of that woman, Lauren Taylor.
That was a good one.
I have my moments, Pat.
I could line her up if you want. Not her. Too deep. Yeah, I would like her.
She is going places, folks. Lauren Taylor, keep an eye on her. Got to admit, we weren't very familiar with her before tonight. We're all familiar with her after tonight. And we are going to keep a close eye on her proceedings. Up to you, Colin Cantrell. Make it all official.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause. Our fighter, Jennifer Scott, she is unable to come up and stand due to a very deep laceration. At 4 minutes, 10 seconds into round number 1, your referee, Jacob Montalvo, calls a halt to the action. Your winner by TKO, Lauren Taylor.
A massive ovation here for Lauren Taylor, 5-0, all wins via TKO, ground and pound. Folks, don't forget every Friday night there is only one show on TV you should be watching. It comes on right before we do. It is the finest coverage of mixed martial arts in the entire world. It is Inside MMA Live every Friday night from downtown LA Live, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Join Kenny Rice, Bas Rutten, Roven, Ronnie Kruk every Friday night live Inside MMA.
Hi guys, this is the place I always cut my hair before my fights and do my half mohawk and red collar. Let's go, do it. I like to do a half mohawk and red collar. I like my shorts, my trunk red, my gloves red, because red colors make me stronger. I train too much, and when I have my time out the gym, I do some different stuff to make me happy. That's awesome. Like MMA.
It is time for what could be the show-stealing fight of the night. Todd Moore versus Charlie Ontiveros. Let's go up to Colin Cantrell.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the cage representing Team Todd Moore. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the cage representing the hard head hitters, Charlie Ontiveros.
Up to you, Colin.
Our third fight of the evening is being brought to us by Robust Energy Drink and is scheduled for 3 rounds of 5 minutes each in the Legacy welterweight division. Introducing first on my right, fighting out of the Star Motorcycles blue corner. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, his official weight 166 3/4 pounds. This Strikeforce and WC veteran of the cage holds a record of 13 wins against 5 defeats. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, Todd the Maniac Moore. And across the cage on my left, fighting out of the ammo2go.com red corner. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, his official weight 166 pounds. This explosive karate expert stands perfect at 3 wins and no defeats. Fighting out of Cleveland, Texas, Charlie, the American Bad Boy, Ontiveros. Referee in charge of the action, Joe Solis.
Just jiu-jitsu, a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments.
I've actually been giving instructions in the back. Touch gloves, let's make it official. Let's go.
Joe Solis with the final instructions. The closing odds on this one. The favorite, Charlie Ontiveros at -160. The comeback on Todd Moore at +120. Michael Chavallo, Pat Miletich with you, a sellout crowd here in Houston, Texas for Legacy Fighting Championship number 18, and Moore bounds out of his corner. Look out for the kicks here on Ontiveros, those long legs of the Taekwondo 4th degree black belt.
Along with the southpaw stance of Moore, that rear leg roundhouse kick could prove deadly coming from Ontiveros.
Ontiveros will switch stance. He is preferred in orthodox, but like any Taekwondo fighter, switches up quite often. Does confound his opponents. Inside leg kick early on here from Ontiveros. You wonder if Ontiveros, knowing that he gives up such tremendous experience, won't play it a lot safer here than he does usually in his fights, where he goes all out, balls to the wall from the opening bell.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a little more careful about getting taken down in this fight by Moore, because he knows Moore is pretty dangerous on the ground. Great ground and pound and great submissions.
The rangefinder with that lead hand on Ontiveros get a very strange guard about him where he sticks his chin right out, the hands are very low, he relies on anticipation, reflexes to evade the strikes coming in. You've got to wonder if that will change also if he continues to increase in competition level. Single leg here from Moore. This is where he wants Ontiveros on the ground. Ontiveros glances towards his corner, his father in his corner, and nods that he's okay, and he gives up a little smile and a wink, Pat.
Yeah, and popped his hips right up and got into good position there.
Ontiveros pops back onto his feet, looking for that little right hand on the pop-up. Solid first minute and a half or so of this contest. Look how wide the legs are now of Ontiveros.
You know, Ontiveros is looking for those counter strikes a lot. Got to use a lot of feints and fakes against those guys, so they're countering stuff that's not actually coming.
Sticks the jab off southpaw stance, goes back to orthodox now. Does Ontiveros. There's a high right round kick. And he switches to southpaw again. Does Ontiveros. Moore was very confident that he had the tools in the arsenal and the game plan to defeat Ontiveros, to hand Ontiveros his first ever pro loss. And Ontiveros just sprawling out.
Let's see if Moore can keep him on the ground this time. He's got that leg pinned. Nice job pulling his hips away.
The elbows now starting to come from Moore.
That technique he's using right now is to break the ribs, actually. Sam Hoger, who I talked about last week, by the way, was great at that. He would literally crush your ribs. Sam's a great submission grappler and has a school actually here in Texas. Great coach.
Good on you, Sam. Know you're watching Access TV live tonight. The Taekwondoan gets back to his feet. Ontiveros, can he get some of those kicks off now? He does indeed.
That long reach, side kick reach in the face, pretty easy. You got to be careful.
The Taekwondo side kick known as a yup chungi.
You speak Korean, Japanese, Aussie.
That's how we roll here on Access TV, Pat. Outside leg kick from Moore. 1 minute 35 remains, first round of 3. An intriguing contest here between the veteran and one of the brightest up-and-comers. Ontiveros still switching stance, flicks out a front kick. It's an up chuggy in Taekwondo.
That's a beer drinking game.
There's quite a few mixed martial artists who come from Taekwondo backgrounds, of course, the likes of Benson Henderson, Dan Hardy, Bas Rutten, Roxanne Modafferi, Anthony Pettis, all had some training at one stage or another in Taekwondo, the Korean martial arts.
Moore doing a good job. See him turn in the corner there, trapping that leg. You got to get an angle on that single. Good job finishing.
What does Moore do from here, Pat?
Well, get his head in the center of the sternum and drive Ontiveros down to the mat. Ontiveros was looking for that underhook to turn him, but more experience felt it coming. You know, as a shorter guy, being in a long guy's guard, it can be a real pain in the butt. So Moore's got to get past, get to half guard, get to cross sides, and then the long guy is at a disadvantage once you get to those positions.
Final seconds of this opening round. Moore now getting loose with that left hand, but just not enough mustard behind it. Ontiveros has defended well on the undefeated Charlie Ontiveros and Todd Moore. Wherever you're watching live on Access TV, hope you're enjoying all the action of Legacy 18 from Houston, Texas. Let's see if Ontiveros can really pull the trigger on his kicks here. A side kick to the knee.
Might as well go for the one with the pad on it.
And again from Ontiveros, looking for that lead knee that was the subject of surgery last July for Todd Moore. Ontiveros doing him no favors here. Nice high right roundhouse. No switch up on it. Shoots in for a double, does Moore. Ontiveros defending and defends well. Throws a knee to the midsection. Round kick to the rib cage. Ontiveros calling Moore forward, and Moore eats a jab. Ontiveros Right hook followed by a left and a scooping bolo punch off the right. Now Ontiveros on the front foot.
Moore's got to slow this pace down now. He's got to lock him up. He cannot let him strike freely like this and get himself in trouble.
Ontiveros is carrying his hands low, however, he's got to be careful because Moore does have counters, and now Moore takes the back.
Ontiveros got way overextended on that elbow, missed big, and Moore took his back.
The pendulum has swung once again here, now in favor of Todd Moore.
You know, Moore had to work a lot harder to get that takedown because he missed the first one. Oh.
Moore in the mount position, here comes the ground and pound. And he takes the back yet again of Ontiveros. Moore looking for a submission. Got the full mount, drives these knuckles down.
And Moore's showing his experience by not going for the submission and landing the beating down on him right now just to wear him out, make him look for the door.
Ontiveros taking punishment, he's got nowhere to go. Can Moore finish him? The elbows now from Moore. He's giving him a shellacking here in the second round. Todd Moore making a statement on Charlie Ontiveros' face.
So
Ontiveros nowhere to go. Meet me somewhere!
So one thing Moore wanted to do was get on top and land those elbows. He did it perfectly. It took him a while to get there, but he worked hard for that. He missed the takedown earlier in the round. Didn't get his hands locked in time to get the takedown and finish it. Got back up and got into a slugfest for a little bit with Ontiveros, and then finally ducked underneath that elbow, got that takedown, took his back, and went to work. Here it is. He got around, went underneath that elbow. See him spin the angle, smart. Ontiveros not changing the angle with him to keep him in front of him. Once Moore got to the mount, he knew he had to get to work and finish him. Landed a lot of punches and elbows from that position and put this kid away. There you go with a kid 3-0, very talented, but you cannot replace experience in this sport, Michael.
He said that was how he was going to do it, Pat. He said as soon as Ontiveros is on the ground, he's in trouble. I am going to pound him out, and that's exactly what Moore did.
Yes, he did. Like I say, he's showing a lot of experience, difference in this fight. Talented, athletic kid, but
as you said in the walkouts, Pat, if you were putting on your manager's hat, you wouldn't have let Ontiveros take this contest. They're the ones that wanted this contest, not Todd Moore. Moore just accepted the challenge from the 3-0 fighter.
Well, and that's maybe shows a little inexperience in the management department, not talking bad about them, but it's just something you don't do to your kid when he's got a lot of talent and ability. You bring him along with people around his experience level and slowly step up the competition.
This sellout crowd here at Houston going absolutely bananas. The Texan flag proudly draped over the shoulders here of Todd Moore. He's a proud Texan. He says, my initials are TM. I like to tell people that they stand for Texas made, Todd Moore. He's from right here in Houston. And we'll throw it up now to Colin Cantrell to enter it into the history books.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, referee Joe Solis had seen enough at 2 minutes, 1 second into round number 2. Your winner by TKO, Todd, the Maniac Moore!
Todd Moore improves his record to 15-5. Ontiveros goes 3-1. Did you vote for the winner? Did you pick Todd Moore at the start of the night when you downloaded your Access TV Fight Companion app from the iTunes store? If you still don't have it on your iPhone or your iPad, do download it now. Go to the iTunes store, download our Access TV Fight Companion app.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Legacy Fighting Championship action right around the corner when Access Fights rolls on.
What a night of action we have seen so far here at Legacy Fighting Championship number 18, alive and happening in Houston, Texas. We just saw Charlie Ontiveros lose his first ever fight, pounded out violently by veteran Todd Moore. Let's go up now to Colin Cantrell.
Their fight, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the cage representing Chavez Dojo, Rafael de Freitas. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the cage his opponent representing the Pit Fight Team, Antonio Banuelos.
Okay, we've been over off the rules. Any questions? Okay, good luck. Protect yourself at all times. Fight hard. Listen to my commands.
Veteran Antonio Banuelos wins over the likes of Hideo Chokoro, Kenji Osawa, Scott Jorgensen, Mike French, Paula Cejudo. Trains at the pit in San Luis Obispo, a former roommate at Chuck Liddell, who adds a new tattoo after every fight, win or lose. Back-to-back losses over Josh Sampo here at Legacy over Viviano Fernandez. Needs to get back in the winner's circle in a big way and an impressive way tonight, Banuelos, because his last fight was a cure for insomnia. The tail of the tape for this 125-pound fight. Undefeated, De Freitas takes on 20-9 Banuelos. Banuelos 4 years the elder, 3 inches the shorter. Has a 1.2-pound weight advantage, gives up the reach in the arms, gives up the reach in the legs.
If they come off during the fight, I have to take them to the belt club. Let them know.
It's always a pleasure to see Banuelos and his trademark handle so he can enable the right hand, which is public enemy number 1 of the southpaw fighter.
De Freitas threw that left hand and didn't get out of the way quickly. He's lucky he didn't get cracked by those punches that came back the other way from Banuelos.
Banuelos is going to shoot in off De Freitas. The way to do it, fighting a southpaw, is to shoot in off the jab. Make sure you counter that left hand. And continually move to your left. Which means it makes your opponent have to reach with their power hand, with their left hand. De Freitas told us, look out for my striking tonight. Hasn't had a chance to go to ground yet.
When De Freitas was in the southpaw stance, he was all defensive. Now he goes conventional. You can tell he's locked in a little more offensively.
We hope at some stage that Banuelos does pull the trigger, gets on the inside and lands some power salvos to De Freitas. A lot of movements here in the opening round as De Freitas switches back to southpaw stance. Overhand right, looking for a counter off the front kick there, Banuelos. Front kick from De Freitas.
Banuelos got to figure out how to cover that gap when the punches come his way or the kick. He's got to cover the gap and get in.
Banuelos trying to force him to the outside here. Looks to get on the inside, but to no avail. And De Freitas moves back to center cage, slams an outside thigh kick. Nice work there from De Freitas. Banuelos needs to get on the inside. Get in that lead left hand. Just tries to pop the right over the top, and some good head work gets De Freitas out of trouble.
De Freitas has been using that left hand as a meter a lot, reaching out with it. Nice little technique that you can use is throw a left hook right on their elbow joint and knock that arm out of the way and then follow with the cross.
Whipping high left round kick there from De Freitas, who began his martial arts career in capoeira at age 5 in his native Brasilia. Beautiful martial arts form, capoeira. Shoots in, sprawls out nicely, does Banuelos. Inside the guard here of De Freitas.
Yeah, De Freitas pulled guard.
Now, I wonder if De Freitas can try and set up his Parata Plata. Looks like he may indeed be going for that. His version of the omoplata. Omoplata, of course, being the shoulder lock.
Banuelos got to keep that head in the center.
Stay busy, gentlemen.
Under 1 minute remains here in the first round. There was plenty of movement while they were standing up, but not a lot of effective striking really landing.
Right, and Banuelos didn't choose to be here. Freitas shot the takedown, and once that failed, he pulled guard. Banuelos definitely doesn't want to be here with him. You can tell he's slowing it down. Get the ref stand him up.
And the referee does just that. A chance for Banuelos to steal some points here in the closing half a minute of this opening round.
No.
High right round. Follow-up back kick there from Banuelos. Oh, he drops De Freitas on his head! And De Freitas kicks Banuelos when he's down. Referee straight on top of it, and De Freitas is just livid about that. He's angry at himself. He realizes he made a mistake.
There's the kick. Luckily, it didn't land. Banuelos' experience showed by blocking that.
Let me know if you can continue.
There it is. They're both scrambling. And De Freitas obviously frustrated by his. It was chaos. Made a mistake.
I called time as an illegal strike to the head. Okay?
But Banuelos right before that dumped him on his head. It was a nice little throw.
I'm surprised De Freitas came up unscathed from that. The referee is consulting with the commission here ringside.
Okay, hang on for me.
Will there be a point deduction here from De Freitas? Yes, there will be.
1 point. 1 point.
So,
1 point.
even if you had De Freitas ahead 10-9 in the round, it now has to be a 9-9 score.
All right, guys, here we go. Short time. Scoot. Short time.
Inside leg kick from De Freitas. Run down. So once again, if it wasn't for the point deduction, it would have been De Freitas' round. Banuelos really needs to pull the trigger pad. He's so frustrating to watch in his last, well, especially his last fight, because he moves a lot, but doesn't really throw anything that lands.
Moving with a purpose is the reason you move. You never move without a purpose. So his corner did a good job, though, of telling him you've got to move your head on the way in. That's how you get past that reach and land those shots. And while you're moving on the way in, you're hoping the longer reach guy throws a punch and misses so that you are inside and he's open.
Once again, you see the movement here from Banuelos, but we're 30 seconds down in this round and he hasn't landed anything here.
Yeah, that arm reaching out like that, the way you get the guy to put his arm back in is you start moving your head and you start with quick feet moving forward like that. See how the hands came back in? That's how you do it. And you got to run him all the way to the cage and keep throwing.
Front kick and a flicking left hand there from De Freitas as we park our peepers in the red corner of Antonio Banuelos. Banuelos looking to get on the inside again. All he has really landed, though, in this round so far is that inside leg kick. That said, though, De Freitas is not doing too much himself this round. It's certainly not making for an entertaining contest after we've had 3 barn burners so far tonight.
We were due.
Here's the corner of De Freitas. Well, De Freitas said he wanted to show off his handiwork here tonight. Just nothing happening here in the second round. A lot of posturing, a lot of posing, a lot of movement. But how many strikes have actually landed?
Not very many.
1 inside thigh kick from Banuelos and maybe 1 front kick from De Freitas.
They're both wanting to counter each other, and that's why there's nothing happening.
There's another kick to the midsection from De Freitas. And you figure the fact that De Freitas has landed 2 and Banuelos has landed just 1 kick, you're going to have De Freitas ahead. De Freitas is undefeated, 5-0. Looks for the knee. The ideal was right.
Just didn't step in on his punches. Expected De Freitas to still be standing there.
De Freitas tags Banuelos nicely with the legs. Skip up front kick. Banuelos going for a takedown. They stay on their feet. Now we're seeing a little more action, thankfully. Trying to jump to a submission there, De Freitas.
Yeah, he tried to stuff that wrist and go to that triangle right away.
Momentarily stumbled on that Hooters logo. Pat Milicic stumbles when he goes to Hooters, but for a completely different reason. Looping right hand there, that being the lead hand of De Freitas. You feel that the hot dog sales here at the Houston Arena Theater have peaked during this fight.
I think partially Banuelos might be worried about that takedown from De Freitas. It's kind of making him clam up with his striking.
Fakes there from De Freitas. High left round kick from Banuelos, caught on the forearms.
One thing Banuelos is doing, he'll throw his combos or a technique and then he moves backwards instead of stepping forward and replacing De Freitas' position, and keep coming forward like that to force the action.
That is a very good point, Pat. I think you hit the nail on the head there, Supercoach. He's got to establish a better position after he strikes here, Banuelos. De Freitas looking to back him up with that left round kick.
Let's go, guys. Let's fight.
There's some boos coming from a section of the crowd. Oh, he gets tagged! De Freitas caught him with the right hand. Banuelos locking onto that ankle.
De Freitas being smart, trapping that arm right there.
Finally, we see some action.
Still hit. Oh, he had it.
Right on the bell as De Freitas was looking to seek the submission.
Watch I know, but the second one lands, so it's good, okay? Keep it clean.
Well, the end of the round heated up, although the first part of it was pretty slow. He gets that figure 4 on the leg, or the arm initially, and then looks to sink that rear choke, doing a good job sneaking around, showing world-class skills on the ground. Banuelos diving, trying to knock him off of his back, or knock the wind out of him at least, but right at the bell,
that was the last fight.
De Freitas was locking that choke up.
All right, guys, seconds out. Let's go. Let's go, guys.
Fantastic crowd here. A sellout in Houston as De Freitas goes ahead to the second round. 10-9 on Pat Milicic's scorecard. Third and final.
Third round, guys.
De Freitas is complaining that there may be some moisture on the canvas here.
Towel.
It is time for Banuelos to put the foot down. Really come out hard and try to get some points on the scoreboard here.
All right, guys, I tell you, we're ready. Let it ready. Round 3. Let's go.
Wallace came in the favorite. 29 fights to De Freitas' 5 fights. But it's De Freitas who has been the more effective so far. Punt kick there. Inside leg kick from Banuelos, and once again, as Pat noted, he backs up. He strikes and backs up. It's terribly frustrating.
Well, it's like a mentality of you're happy to get him away from you for a second, and then you back up. You got to have the mentality of throwing the strikes, moving forward, and keep stalking them.
Counter off the inside leg kick from Banuelos. Once again, look how much movement there is here from Antonio Banuelos, but just not a lot of action.
You talking to me?
Takedown inside the guard here of De Freitas.
A little bit of the pit training there with that takedown. Nice work.
If you're talking to Colin, tell me again. You're talking to me, Richie?
De Freitas very comfortable here. Banuelos is going to find a way to posture up and work some ground and pound, try and do some damage to Barata. Elbow strikes to the back of the shoulder. The corner of De Freitas calling for some elbows.
Stay active, guys. I'm going to stand you up. Stay busy. I'm going to stand you up.
And you could hear a tumbleweed blow through the Houston Arena Theater at the moment.
Break time.
The referee gives a much-needed slap and a tickle, and will restart them from a standing position.
Yeah, it wasn't much to commentate on there.
Banuelos' counter right hand was a nice one. He weaved underneath the left hook from De Freitas. Matt, I think we need another one of those Red Bulls.
Please.
This one just hasn't produced the goods.
Well, Banuelos still looking to counter. To be a counter fighter, you have to be offensive.
You see again there how he backs up. He comes forward with the combination and immediately goes on the back foot.
Right. But to be a counter fighter, you have to be offensive. The whole reason you punch is to get your opponent to punch back so that you can move and get out of the way and open himself up.
And Banuelos caught him there once again.
And then ran away from him.
Exactly. You see once more, got on the inside, then skipped out. Now, I don't know whether Banuelos thinks he's putting points down by doing that, but he's not, Pat.
Well, he's got the power standing up. He hits hard. But just something about what he's seen in De Freitas is making him not keep moving forward.
That said, though, De Freitas is not doing anything either. Throws a front kick that misses the target. But there's no combinations coming from De Freitas.
And I thought we'd see a lot more out of De Freitas this round after the end of the last round.
And once again, Banuelos just gets the knuckles, grazing the chin, and he backs up. You see again, throws the overhand left. He's on the back foot. It's confusing. Takedown here from Banuelos. Now let's see what Antonio Banuelos can do. This is the corner of Rafael De Freitas. Can Banuelos posture up here? Can he work some ground and pound? Can he get those elbows loose?
Banuelos could actually win this round because of the 2 takedowns he's had. Because De Freitas didn't do a whole lot either.
And that's a very sad commentary on this fight. If it does come down to that you are searching for scraps amongst a whole ocean of inactivity here.
Yeah, I was hoping you weren't saying mine was sad commentary.
No.
You have an open guard.
This has just been a real snoozer. Most likely De Freitas will maintain his undefeated record. Neither man will win over any fans here. And the Houston Arena Theater lets out a collective sigh of relief that this one is result. Up to you, Colin.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of fighting, we go to the judges' scorecard. Judge Chance Williams scores the fight, 29-27, Banuelos. Judge Joshua Ferraro scores the fight, 29-28, De Freitas. And Judge Robert Alexander scores the fight, 28-28. We have a split draw.
Well, the decision was as boring as the fight. A draw here between Banuelos and Freitas. And you know what? Probably thoroughly deserved, because I don't believe either of them actually deserve to get a win from that contest. It's time to park our peepers backstage once again here at the Houston Arena Theatre, and there he is, the heavyweight champion, the Cinderella story of 2012, the man who once beat the bejesus out of a Ku Klux Klan member who was hunting him in his neighborhood. Derrick Lewis, the Black Beast, goes up against 6'5", 230 pounds of Ricky Shivers. That's our main event still to come.
Coming up.
I've been training 2 months for this. I'm ready to prove myself. Saturday, one day after, I'm not more champion. I have to train again, focus again, to win again, then I will be champion.
Derrick Krantz invades H-Town to dethrone the champ, Jorge Patino. Legacy Fighting Championship 18 on Access TV. We'll be back in a moment.
The right hand of his own. Oh! The big kibosh! Patino's done it again! Who can stop Jorge Patino?
Very experienced fighter, good brawler. He's definitely known. He's been around for years.
Oh, meet me somewhere!
He's a wide fighter. I found little holes and I use my experience, my technique to find the opportunity in my fight. Then I will beat him. I've been training 2 months for this, and got a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of feelings into this fight. So that's why I'm really excited, and I'm ready to prove myself. I'm 39 and he's 15 years younger than me. He's a wild kid. He's strong, fast, and I like his style because he fights stand up in the ground. He doesn't matter for him. Saturday, one day after, I'm not more champion. I have to train again, focus again, to win again, then I will be champion.
It is time for the first of our 2 championship fights here tonight. The champ, Jorge Patino. The challenger, Derrick Krantz. Let's throw it up to Colin Cantrell.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the cage representing Team 515, Derrick Krantz.
You're in there. Get it done, baby.
Challenger, Derrick Krantz. The man they nicknamed D-Rock. Says the main thing he has to look out for tonight is something unexpected, something flashy from Makako. He says Makako is a risk taker, which means he's open to being finished. Pat plays super coach for us. If you're in the corner of Derrick Krantz, what are you telling him to do?
Well, he's got the youth, he's got the speed. He needs to be careful, be wise. Let Patino open up a little bit, make the mistakes, because Patino does go for things. He gets crazy with his striking. Open himself up, land some strikes, and get those takedowns. Derrick's very strong on the ground. He hits very hard from the top. If he can do that, he can get Patino in trouble and hopefully wear the older fighter out.
Derrick Krantz says he has visualized time and time again beating Makako. How he does it is to push him up against the cage and elbow him. He's prepared to take the fight to Makako anywhere. He says Makako is not comfortable on his back. He is when he's on top. He plans to put him on his back. An 8-week training camp for Krantz. He said they fight very similarly. Both like to take people's back. Both like putting opponents on their back and pounding away, and both of them hit extremely hard. Derrick Krantz in the biggest fight of his career.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, representing Gold Team, Jorge Patino.
Cuts a silhouette. Makako, Jorge Patino. I can't understand a word he says, but my word is he a phenomenal fighter. The current 2-division legacy champion, lightweight and welterweight, riding a 5-fight winning streak. An 18-year veteran of the sport. 3 of his last 4 fights have been 5-rounders. A 3rd-degree black belt in BJJ under Octavio de Almeida Jr. And once again, let's get some comments from the Super Coach.
Jorge Patino's a guy that, like I've said, he's very explosive. He needs to get on Krantz early in this and hopefully hurt him early, get in Krantz's head and take that experience to another level and end up on top also when it does go to the ground, because Patino gets guys in trouble quickly with his submissions when he's on top. Very good top game.
The last 5 fights here for Patino, undefeated on quite the tear. The sub over Cordero, the KO of Freitas was phenomenal. The decision over Bronzoulis, decision split over Pete Spratt was controversial. The sub of Cleburne Walker. He's worked a lot on his Muay Thai, a lot on his boxing, a lot on takedowns off the fence in preparation for this one. Gave a lot of respect for Derrick Krantz, said Krantz is a good young challenger, but he's going to show him who the champion is. Can the champ continue the streak and defend the belt again? Up to Colin Cantrell.
Ladies and gentlemen, our co-main event of the evening is being brought to us by ammo2go.com and is scheduled for 5 championship rounds in the Legacy Lightweight division. Introducing first the challenger, fighting out of the Star Motorcycles blue corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, his official weight 154 pounds. This fighter holds an impressive record of 14 wins versus 6 defeats. Fighting out of Marshall, Texas, Derrick Krantz. And across the cage on my left, fighting out of the ammo2go.com red corner. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, his official weight 154 pounds. This MMA legend holds a record of 28 victories, 13 defeats, and 1 no contest. Born in Sao Paulo, Brazil, but now claims Houston, Texas as his home. Reigning and defending Legacy Lightweight Champion, Jorge Patino. Referee in charge of the action, Joe Solis.
Hey, fighters, come to the middle. All right, guys, you've been giving instructions in the back. Let's touch gloves. Let's do this.
Jorge Patino comes in the favorite.
You're all right. I'll go over there. You're all right.
Derrick Krantz comes in as the underdog. Patino at -140, Krantz at +100. Michael Chiavello and Pat Miletich with you. The 155-pound strap on the line. Who will get off their hands early here? Both have a tremendous amount of respect for the ability of the other. Patino looking to change levels. Should it go to ground? Should Patino get on top? He does have some vicious ground and pound. Nice outside leg kick. Krantz locking up with him, looking for a takedown. Wants Patino on his back, gets him there.
Krantz showed a lot of strength there. Patino even had the leg hooked.
Patino Muay Thai clinch, went for a takedown and sprawled out nicely did Krantz. We are off to an exciting start. Patino looking for the overhand right.
Can't get sloppy in there with Krantz. Krantz has a lot of power.
Very high guard here for Jorge Patino. As well he needs against Krantz. Patino again looking to change levels. Krantz thrusts out the jab. Got his chin tucked, looking through his brow here, Derrick Krantz. Patino with the left hook, no right hand for company.
Patino doing the old guy stuff, just moving his head just enough right now, getting out of the way of most of the techniques that are coming his way, not getting too crazy,
and
wasting energy.
Let's just do them dancing, if that's okay. Does that make sense?
How was it when you fought him, Pat, back in 1934?
Well, I tell you what, he was a lot crazier back then, trust me.
A Vale Tudo legend, Patino. Looks for a body shot off the left and a straight right hand to the jaw. Under 3 minutes remains in this first round. Overhand right there from Patino. Trying to land some bombs early, the veteran. Outside leg kick to the CPN, the common peroneal nerve area on Derrick Krantz's lead leg. Double jab from Krantz. Good right hand from Krantz. And it seemed to infuriate Patino. Krantz bolo punching. Patino getting caught. Patino momentarily on rubber legs, but Krantz has let him off the hook here.
Yeah, Patino looked a little wobbled there. Krantz, nice job of countering and getting after him when he was vulnerable.
Well, Derrick Krantz threw the missed opportunity there. Right hand from Krantz. Backs up Patino against the cage. Patino was certainly stunned by that onslaught. Krantz, though, just didn't capitalize. Front kick from Krantz, trying to dig it into the belly button.
Krantz standing up really high when he throws that hook. You got to be careful doing that. You get clipped with counters real easy. Got to ball up and stay low.
Outside leg kick. Krantz missed the counter with the right hand. Some thumping overhand right there from Krantz. Inside leg kick from Patino. Krantz dictating the center of the cage. They clinch up and Krantz forces him back against the cage.
This is where he wanted to be. This is what he talked about.
Krantz looking for a takedown and gets it.
Yeah, doing a good job of getting to working two half cross sides there. Staying out of the way of that choke. Patino see working that foot, trying to hook him up.
Krantz back to his feet. Patino still the arm hooked around the neck here. Krantz looking for another takedown. Gets it.
I don't know why Patino was looking for that underhook on that leg there. Didn't make sense.
And Krantz backs off. Nice exchange. 20 seconds remains. First round set for 5. The 155-pound championship on the line. Inside leg kick. Nicely done there from Patino with the shin. The overhand right not as successful.
It's like he's throwing a pitch.
Challenger, says Pat Miletich. How are you scoring it? Wherever you're watching live on Access TV. Hope you're enjoying all the action of Legacy Fighting Championship number 18. Second round. Krantz, who had Patino momentarily stunned in the first. Already looking to back up the champion here. Oh, a punt kick there from Patino. Krantz lands the right hand. Here comes the ground and pound. Patino reaches up, trying to control the posture of the challenger.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a wise decision to go for a takedown, and then instead of just bailing on the takedown, he pulled guard and ate some really heavy shots from Krantz down there. Working to the half guard, looking for a sweep. Krantz got that tight whizzer, shutting him down so he can't come around his body.
Back to their feet here. Popping knee, Muay Thai clinch from Patino, and then breaks off.
Nice job in the transition by Patino to go offense there.
Patino needs to start throwing some hands here, the champion. And he does just that. Left hook from Patino, 2 in a row. And Krantz was stunned. But Patino doesn't go forward on him.
Not a whole lot of punches coming down the middle from Patino. Just keep your hands on the side of your head and let them bounce off your arms.
Patino keeping his gloves glued to the side of his head here. And Pat, I believe Patino starting to breathe pretty heavily out of his mouth here. He comes forward, the champ.
Yeah, he's pushing it though. See him try and shove that arm out of the way so he could come back underneath it and get this takedown. Hook in the leg, we'll see what he can do with it. Krantz got that underhook. Yeah, there he goes. He's switching off to the single now, which is wise. Head in good position.
Under 3 minutes remains in the second round of this championship contest. A lot of noise in the arena here for both of these fighters. Krantz riding the back of Patino.
Showed his strength there, flattened Patino out. Patino trying to control that wrist so he doesn't get pounded with it. Fiddling with his legs, trying to scoot his hips here pretty soon, I think, to get to half guard.
Takes the back here of Patino. Patino looking to get to top position.
Showed a lot of...
The champion showing his experience, Pat.
Exactly. Kept that wrist control. Ooh.
Oh, look at Jorge Patino go for the sub. Can he lock it in, the champ? He's going for it.
Got to come back up on top here. Can't lose position just to get the submission, but he's going to the triangle now.
Oh, it's good night, Irene! Makako brings the house down. My word. He's done it again.
He had a half guillotine in. Once he lost the guillotine, he recognized he could go to the triangle, but he used his leg strength to squeeze his arm tight against the carotid artery of Derrick Krantz. That was sweet.
What an emotional moment here for Makako. What is that? 6 fights in a row that he's won.
Here it is again. Look at him controlling that wrist. He knows he's got to keep a hold of that. That pins Derrick so he can't spin with him.
Jorge Makako Uguti.
No.
Championship belt there. It's a beautiful one. It's a biggie. Well, it is Texas. Okay, Colin Cantrell enter it into the history books, and then promoter Mick Maynard will put the belt on Patino.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 3 minutes 7 seconds into round number 2, your winner by guillotine choke and still the legacy lightweight champion, Jorge Patino.
Okay, it looks like Pat Miletich is going to have a word with a former opponent of his who is running red hot, the champ Patino. Up to you, Pat.
All right, I'm in here with Jorge Patino. George, really impressive victory for you. Did he have you hurt in the first round? It looked like you wobbled a little bit there against the cage.
Yes, champion. You know, he catch me, and I feel a little dizzy, but I have experience. I'm jump, I'm recover, and I wait to do my game plan.
Between round 1 and 2, what did your corner tell you? You seem to be a lot more fired up coming into the second round.
Yeah, my coach, Bob, told me, Macaco, you train, do what you did. Do what I teach you. Go forward, put your hands moving, get him, and I did.
Now, as far as the finish, you jumped to the guillotine, and then he was able to break out of that, but you modified it. You went to a triangle, but kept the arm and explained that finish to everybody.
Yeah, he come to hit me, I'm control, and you grab. When I see the opportunity, I hold the neck, and I try turn inside, and I jump the guillotine choke, and he feel it tap, and God bless me.
Did your legs help you finish that choke, though, with the pressure on your arm?
Yes, the legs help me because I pressure his back down, and he can have space to put the back up and escape, put the neck out.
All right, congratulations, champ. Jorge Patino, ladies and gentlemen.
Guys, I have to say thank you to my sponsors, because if I don't have sponsors, I don't have nothing. St. Michael's, Hooters, Best Beach, Kids Health Center, Homeland, Jesus Student Tap, IFX, MMA, do MMA, my fight shop. And I say my wife, I love you, happy birthday. Thank my corners, thank my family. Go Team Fighters, hey!
Up next, where all systems go for the heavyweight title.
I'm gonna prove and get my respect that I deserve from everybody in Houston and everybody watching.
It's gonna feel just like I just won it again because I'm still the underdog once again, and I'm still have that same feeling after I leave the cage.
Derrick Lewis and Ricky Shivers go to war. Legacy Fighting Championship 18 on Access TV will be back in a flash.
Beautiful Houston, Texas is once again alive and happening on a Friday night because Legacy Fighting Championship 18 has been stacked. If you've just joined us, you missed Jorge Patino defend his 155-pound championship with a beautiful guillotine choke over Derrick Krantz. What a night we have seen so far here. The fights have gone down thick and fast, all bar one. Let's take you back through the night and what has gone down here at Legacy 18 at the Houston Indoor Arena Theatre. We kicked off with Alex Morono versus Brendan Farran. A first round finish for Morono. Then it was the first ever ladies fight in Legacy history. And Lauren Taylor came in 4-0, finished the fight with some of the most brutal ground and pound you'll ever see, slicing open Jennifer Scott with these elbows. Next up, the veteran Todd took on the rising star Charlie Ontiveros. Some would consider it an upset. Ontiveros took on more than he could chew, and Todd ended up beating up on him. Moore getting the victory, handing the first defeat to Ontiveros, and it really was that fast. The next fight, well, we could just fast forward through this one because this was boredom personified. Rafael de Freitas took on Antonio Banuelos. Fittingly, it ended in a draw because neither of these men really deserved to get a W on their records. Takedowns from Banuelos, some takedowns from de Freitas, and nothing much more. Then in the first of our championship fights, it was Jorge Patino versus Derrick Krantz. In the first round, Krantz had Patino wobbled, but he couldn't capitalize. Second round, Patino locked him into a guillotine. Tip-tappity-tap-tap. Good night, Irene. And Pat, that now brings us to the main event here tonight. The heavyweight championship is on the line as the defending champion Derrick Lewis takes on Ricky Shivers, the very confident Ricky Shivers, who Derrick Lewis believes has overstepped confidence into the realm of cockiness. As I said earlier, a Facebook status popping up on the page of Derrick Lewis last night along the lines of, I don't really like to talk trash about my opponents, I don't dislike my opponents, but I can't wait to put a beating on this cocky SOB.
Yeah, and in his title fight, when he won the title, he was motivated by his grandfather being sick in the hospital on his deathbed. This time he's motivated because he really hates Ricky Shivers.
He will come in the favorite Derrick Lewis at -245. The comeback on Ricky Shivers is +175. Let's take a close look now at the heavyweight championship matchup.
My last fight, I knew the guy was going to keep trying to take me down, and I knew about the second round he was going to be gassed.
Lewis this opportunity! Lewis has dropped in! He's down the kick! Freaking you both! Can you believe it? Derrick Lewis did it!
When I won the title, it felt like really great because I was the huge underdog and no one else believed in me but my family. It was going to feel just like I just won it again because I'm still the underdog once again, and I'm still have that same feeling after I leave the cage.
He got put on his back the entire fight and then got lucky enough to. I'm gonna prove and get my respect that I deserve from everybody in Houston and everybody watching. I am a champion, and this is just one of my steps into becoming a world champion.
I don't feel like I have anything to prove, you know. I live every day just like a champion, so it's gonna be another day in the park.
It is ready to go down. The fight we have all been waiting for. The Black Beast, Derrick Lewis, takes on Ricky Shivers. Up to Colin Cantrell to bring out these two titans.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the cage, representing Gracie Barra, Ricky Shivers.
6'5", 230 pounds.
I think I had another fight that was like that.
Shivers from Team Quest and Gracie Barra. He has finished his opponent in 11 of 12 wins. 6 by submission, 5 by knockout. The TKO over Michael Clark. The win before that, the submission of Stanislav Mirzagamongov. Do not ask me to say that twice. Originally from Alaska, moved to Houston last year. Spent the last 3 weeks of training camp at Team Quest in Temecula. Overall had an 8-week camp. He says Derrick Lewis is a big, tough guy. But who isn't a big, tough guy at heavyweight? He believes Lewis will get tired with the pace that Ricky's going to set. He's going to come in harder and look to dump the champion. He says he does great wall work with Dan Henderson and the crew at Team Quest. He's going to work Lewis against the cage, get him down and don't relent. Super coach, what do you say to Ricky Shivers if you're in his corner?
Well, you certainly have to stay outside, use your reach, use your height. Stay the heck away from that right hand, because Derrick Lewis's punches literally burn through the air so like lightning. They've got a thunderclap behind them, trust me. And if he goes for the takedowns, he's got to go for takedowns that don't get him stuck underneath Derrick Lewis when he sprawls. Outside singles, things like that, where he can get this fight to the ground and end up on top of the bigger man.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the cage, representing Silverback MMA, Derrick Lewis.
The challenger in the cage. Let's go up to Colin Cantrell.
Ladies and gentlemen here in attendance, and those of you watching live on Access TV around the world, it's time for the big one. Our main event of the evening is being brought to you by Star Motorcycles and is scheduled for 5 championship rounds in the Legacy Heavyweight Division. First, our challenger fighting out of the Star Motorcycles blue corner. He stands 6 feet 5 inches tall, his official weight 230 pounds. This Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt holds a record of 12 wins, 6 defeats, and 1 draw. Fighting out of Temecula, California, Ricky Ice Cold Shivers. And across the cage on my left, fighting out of the MO2go.com red corner. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, his official weight 256 pounds. This concrete-handed brawler holds a champion's record of 8 wins and 2 defeats. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, Derrick the Black Beast Lewis. Your referee in charge, Jacob Montalvo.
It is deafening. Let's see the
All right,
stare down.
gentlemen, this is the main event. Let's have a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times and follow my commands at all times. This
Head to head.
a good fight.
Wow. Lewis, I've never seen him smack talk to an opponent. As I said, he didn't like the approach that Shivers brought to the weigh-in yesterday. He called him a cocky SOB.
Fighter, you ready? You ready?
A heavyweight title on the line. Michael Chavallo, Pat Miletich with you. Our Legacy Fighting Championship number 18 in Houston, Texas. Look for Lewis to try and land the big tub thumper. The big right hand. Shivers wants to get the champion on the ground, wants to get him on the back. He says once Lewis is on his back, there's no way he will get up. Now Lewis is on his back. Side control for Shivers. It came early, inside of 30 seconds.
No positioning whatsoever by Derrick Lewis. That can be his undoing. Gotta know how to move on the ground in this sport.
Lewis is going to do his best just to control the posturing here, not allow Shivers to posture up, and hope the referee will give him a stand up. Trying to muscle his way out. He gives his back in the process, Lewis, but now the big man, the champion, back on his feet. looking to manhandle Shivers, throws a knee! There's the uppercut, and Shivers got caught. Lewis with a high left round kick, the champ on the front foot, throwing bombs, single leg, and Derrick Lewis with a takedown.
Lost position because his head was on the outside on a single leg. If you're going to do that, you got to do it differently than he did. Head generally on the inside on a single leg.
He says he's been working his ground game throughout his training camp. Look how strong Derrick Lewis is.
He's smart here. He's got the wrist control. He brought the arm across. He's got to get it back over there and use his head to pry down on that joint to peel Ricky Shivers off his back.
Lewis is going to get up onto one knee with 230-pound Shivers on his back.
Look at how big his hands are wrapped around his arm. That's ridiculous.
Shivers wants to choke him. It won't be there so long as Lewis holds on to that right wrist.
Yeah, it's very tough for somebody to choke you with one arm.
Lewis is holding onto that wrist at the moment with 3 fingers.
Peeling that leg out. Nice.
Lewis defending.
Look out, Jackson.
Shivers pulling the head down. He does not want the champ to rain down those thunderous meat hooks.
Yeah, he definitely has a chance to take advantage of his size and wear Shivers out in this position. Got to get his head back in the center.
Stay busy in the guard. I'm
Close guard for Ricky Shivers, opens it up now.
Nice job pushing the leg down to come around.
Single leg from Shivers. Hammer fist strikes from Lewis. Back to their feet. Shivers wants the takedown. He wants to put the champ on his back again. Oh, big clubbing right hand from Derrick Lewis. Shivers still trying to go after the takedown. Still working at the legs. Double leg here from Shivers.
Size and strength is the only thing that's keeping him up on this in athletic ability, because he did a lot of things wrong, but he's got such strong hips and legs, he was able to get back up.
And Lewis crushes down onto his back. Where's Shivers going to go from here, Pat?
Well, he shouldn't be going for that submission there because he's losing position while he's doing it.
Lewis looking for a sub! Lewis looking for a submission!
He has a Kimura from being
This
mounted.
would be crazy! Can the champ sub him?
How strong do you have to be to do this?
Can the champ sub him?
You know, as a guy on top, you're freaking out right now because you've got cross sides, you had mount, and you're getting submitted from there.
Can Derrick Lewis sub him? No, he lets go of it. Here comes the ground and pound from the champion.
Should have kept it.
Locks on behind the knee, now switches to a double leg to Shivers. Exciting stuff here in the first round, 45 seconds still to go. Derrick Lewis is bringing some new tools, some new tricks into his arsenal here tonight.
Shivers spent a lot of this round underneath Lewis, going for those takedowns. Wear him out.
Lewis takedown, trips him, gets it, goes to side control. Here come the right hands. Shivers now knows just how strong Derrick Lewis is.
So do we.
Not allowing Lewis to posture up here. What a first round.
Derrick Lewis was in trouble going for that key lock and getting mounted at the same time. Trust me, usually a person can just muscle right out of this because their legs are up over your hips. They've got a mounted position. They're able to weasel out of it. But because Derrick Lewis, his hands are so gigantic and he's so strong, look at how far he's bringing that hand up to the back of Shivers' head. Shivers gets to cross eyes to try and get out of it and ends up getting rolled through by Derrick Lewis. Derrick Lewis, he would have let go of it. I think would have been well served to keep it, but tell you what, man, this guy is strong.
He was in a bad spot, but it wasn't a stab. I would have stopped him. Go, second down, guys. Let's go, guys, second down. Out, out. Out.
10-9 to the champ, says Pat Miletich after one.
Okay, round 2, gentlemen, let's go.
Second set for 5. We don't think it will go that far. Lewis leads out with that right. The champ's blowing a little heavy though here in the second. Shivers thought this would happen if he could draw him to deep water. This is where Lewis will line up the one shots. Just try for the big headache maker.
Surprised Derrick Lewis was looking for a takedown and he got it.
Just forces Shivers onto his back. Shivers puts him inside his guard and closes it. Can he posture up here, Lewis?
Let's do it without exposing his arm.
Throwing the legs up, looking for a sub, and Shivers gives his back to the big man.
No knees to the head, no knees to the head.
Needs to get those legs back. Keep his hip weight on the back of Shivers' head.
Boom with the right hand now from Lewis. Hammer fist strike to the side of the head. Scoops one under the armpit of Shivers. Shivers with a single leg here. Looking for a takedown of his own. Lewis not giving him what he wants though. Back to his feet, the champion. He looks for a takedown. A real tug of war here, Pat.
Yeah, just a lot of things because of his athletic ability and strength he's been getting away with, where he's going to have to fix those things when he moves up to the UFC if he gets there. Because guys are going to take advantage of that and he's going to be in trouble. But the guy has a ton of potential. Shivers here in a good position, needs to spin to the back and get to work.
Go, guys.
Explosively gets up to his feet and now looks to put Shivers on his back. The champion cuts in the hip.
Like wrestling with a grizzly bear.
Digs in, scooping these right hands. High knee! Shivers gets caught! Here comes Derrick Lewis! And Shivers looking to look on a guillotine here. Can Lewis get his head out? Yes, he does. The pendulum keeps swinging. Close guard again from Shivers.
Both catching a breath here.
Go, guys, action.
A moment's rest here for both champion and challenger.
You know, and that's where you have to sense your opponent breathing heavy and wanting to take a break, and that's when you have to go. You have to go when he's not ready to go and wear him out.
Just past the halfway mark of this second round of action. First round, Derrick Lewis 10-9 on Pat Miletich's scorecard. Can Lewis get the right hand, the right elbow free? Listen to this crowd.
Let's go, I'm gonna stand you up.
Oh, the arm bar here from Shivers. Lewis just yanks the arm out like it was nothing. Shivers, single leg, takedown.
Lewis just no sense of urgency to stop the takedown. He's not paying attention, or he doesn't care. I don't know which, but he needs to start paying attention.
Mount here from Shivers. He mounted him easily. But you see Derrick Lewis just not allowing Shivers to posture up here. Takes the back. 1 minute 20 remains. Shivers will want to find a way to work a choke here.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be well served just to start punching and scoring points here because he's down in this round. Losing position again.
Closes the guard. Anything to control the posture here. Throws the legs up nice and high. But no arm left in. Derrick Lewis a chance to get back to his feet, but immediately Shivers on him and goes to side control and easily mounts the champ again.
Yeah, that's inexcusable positions that are being attained so easily. Derrick Lewis shouldn't be giving these positions up this easily.
Lewis obviously thinks that his enormous strength overcomes his shortfalls on the ground. 20 seconds remains. Second round of fight. An intriguing battle for the heavyweight championship. Armbar! Armbar! Is the belt going to change hands? Can Lewis hold on for a few more seconds? A few more seconds! He does hold on! Wow. But how much of a toll did it take on that fabled right arm?
Took a toll on both of them, I think.
Shivers crawling back to his corner. Wow. We have another epic story unfolding in another epic Derrick Lewis fight.
Yeah, end of the round here. Shivers going for that armbar, going for broke, trying to finish it, getting the leg back across the face. You want the other leg on top, though. If you're going to cross him, you want the leg that's across the head on the bottom because it keeps the head down better. But he's torquing on that giant arm, trying to finish him. And Derrick Lewis able to hold on for the bell.
If you're playing super coach in the champ's corner, what are you telling him to do here?
I'm telling him to stop a damn takedown. Get your hips back, get wrist control, and quit letting him have those easy takedowns.
Shivers right in here.
The question may be now, whose gas tank is the better? We have an even fight, 19 points apiece after 2, according to Pat Milicic. 1/3 of the crowd are cheering for Shivers. 2/3 seem to be for Derrick Lewis. Lewis's hands are low. He's breathing out of his mouth. But can Shivers capitalize? Shivers looks a little heavy on his feet here. Right hand lead from the champion. Overhook, right arm, Shivers. Looking for a takedown is Ricky Shivers. Hooks the leg, can't get the big man down. Hooks the leg, and Lewis gets the takedown. Cuts the hip in, side control now for the champion.
Both guys giving up takedowns that shouldn't be given up here.
Lewis wants to work the right elbow. He wants to mount the challenger. 256 pounds on top of you. And Shivers eats a right hand.
Yeah, that was a nice right hand by Lewis there. Let's see if he can capitalize on this half guard position. Needs that underhook. You can see how Shivers has that left arm underneath. He can scoot his hips because of it.
Here come the lefts from Lewis. Trying to crack that nose. Tries to pin the arm to open up the side of the face.
This is where he's got to stop this takedown. Shivers comes up with that single.
Hammer fist strikes to the top of the ear here from Derrick Lewis.
That made him abort the mission on the single leg.
Shivers did not like that power. And Lewis is patient here. A big, mean, nasty fighter is the champion.
Just got to get to work with that left elbow.
Go, guys.
He wants to beat the cockiness out of Ricky Shivers. Back inside the full guard. Look at these clubbing hands powering down on Shivers.
Reminds me a little like George Foreman ground and pound.
Look at that hammer fist strike again off the right hand. And the chants go up again. Derrick for the champion. Elbows trying to hack the ear off. He's just like a big boy playing with a new toy here is Derrick Lewis. Inside a half guard.
The size of Lewis is wearing on Shivers. You can see it. He's not moving his hips quick. He's not getting anywhere quick right now.
2 minutes 5 remains. Third round of 5. An even fight after 2. 19 points apiece.
Good, guys. Stay busy. I'm going to stay
Close guard here for Ricky Shivers. Lewis trying to get that right hand free. Doesn't want to leave an arm in. However, Shivers still looking to throw those legs up and catch an armbar.
Lewis needs to step over and go to mount. His punches from mount would be scary.
Boom with that right hand to the side of the head. Shivers forced to cover up.
Shivers going for a leg lock here.
Oh, Lewis to the chin. 3 big right hands. Make it 4. There's 5. The champion pounding away. Here come the rights again. Through the guard. Shivers has got to get out of there. He's taking enormous punishment now.
Yeah, he's dropping bombs on him now. He's starting to wear Shivers out and find his target. He punches right through the arms.
No respect here. Takes the back of Shivers. Under a minute remaining, and Lewis just wants to pound away. Look at the power here from the champion. Look at the ferocity. Boom, shakalaka, bang again with the right hand. It's good night, Irene! Derrick Lewis pounds out Ricky Shivers.
Great job finishing there, man. He sensed it and went for it.
Is he UFC bound? Shivers is laid out here. The ringside physician straight on him. Maybe we can get a shot here of Shivers laid out on the canvas. He is in a bad way, a very bad way. He took an absolute beating, a hiding from Derrick Lewis.
Once he got that top position, dominant mounted position, paid off for him. He hit so ungodly hard, plowing right through the guard of Ricky Shivers, moving his whole torso when he hit him. That is some sick, scary power. I don't ever want that guy on top of me hitting me.
Finally, it seems that Shivers is back on his feet and sitting on a stool, but my word, did he take punishment. The cruelest form of punishment. From a 260-pound behemoth named Derrick Lewis.
Relax, just relax.
The Cinderella story of 2012. He won the championship when he knocked out Jared Rochold. Thunderously knocked him out for the title. While his grandfather, his hero, the man that had raised him, was on his deathbed. His grandfather passed away a week later. But not before Derrick got to visit him in the hospital, got to show him the belt. His eyes have been closed for weeks, his grandfather. But when he whispered in his ear, "Grandpa, I won the championship," suddenly the old man's eyes opened. He sadly passed away. All right, Derrick Lewis, who went to prison for 3 years for beating up a member of the Ku Klux Klan who was hunting him down in his neighborhood. Derrick Lewis, who after getting out of prison turned his life around through mixed martial arts. You ready? Derrick Lewis, who showed a lot more weapons here tonight, a lot more in his ground game, and particularly that vicious Kimura he tried to apply early on. What a champion. What a champion.
All right, guys, to the center.
Doctor's still looking over Ricky Shivers here, by the way. He is in a bad state.
Ladies and,
up to you, Colin.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 4 minutes, 22 seconds into round number 3, referee Jacob Montalvo calls a halt to the action. Your winner, and still the Legacy Heavyweight Champion, Derrick the Black Beast Lewis.
Good fight, guys. Try to give every opportunity. Good job, man.
All right, we're in here with Derrick Lewis, the champ. Great fight, number 1. Your last fight, Derrick, when you won the title over Jared Rochold, you were motivated by your sick grandfather. This fight, you seem to be motivated by a little bit of dislike for your opponent, Ricky Shivers.
Hey, corner, stay next to your fighter.
Yes, sir. You know, the crowd speaks for itself. But first of all, I'd like to thank God, my family, my fans, everybody that supported the Black Beast. You know.
Now you seemed, you got fatigued in this fight, definitely. How tired were you, and how frustrated were you when you kept getting taken down by Ricky Shivers?
Derrick Lewis was tired, but the Black Beast wanted more.
All right, at what point did you feel like, was it when you took his back there? Was it when you took the mount? Did you feel that you really were able to finish the fight Could you sense it?
Yeah, I felt the shiver come through his body, so I had to keep going.
So what's next for you, big man?
Whatever my manager want me to do, we go down.
All right, brother. Good job, champ. Derrick Lewis, ladies and gentlemen.
First, I want to let everybody know, this one right here, what all the fighters came out and do, that ain't even a battle. Everybody that's struggling with cancer, and everybody knows somebody that's struggling with cancer, go out and love them, give them some love, hug them, let them know you in it with them.
Derrick Lewis, ladies and gentlemen.
There you have it, the words from the champion, Derrick Lewis. What a contest it was, and what a night it has been here at Legacy Fighting Championship number 18, where the defending champions, Jorge Patino and Derrick Lewis, both reign supreme. You've been watching Legacy Fighting Championships on Access TV. The executive producer of Access Sports is Darryl Ewalt. Director, Jason Vaughan. Producer, Mike Ricci. Director of Live Operations, Chris Markwell. Tape producer, Josh Harper. Associate producer, Amy Vaughan. Field production, Matt Franklin, and post-production, Andy Edwards. Technical director, Stig Daniels. Audio, Mark Duval. Remote engineering, Dave Kennedy. The manager of business affairs, Adam Swift. The CEO of Access Fights is Andrew Simon. For my broadcast partner, Pat Miletich, I'm Michael Chavello saying so long from Houston, y'all.